start now, see?
Probably I should close the door and I'm probably gonna go back for just a second.
Okay.
One minute.
Very good. Thank you, Brother Ron. It's going to be Labor Day?
Yeah, it's Labor Day. I'm moving this. How was that?
Is that better? Okay, thank you. All right, I want to let all you wonderful people I know it, that happy Labor Day to all of you. And we're going to run about a 3-minute tape regarding Labor Day. And so that'll be the first things I'll play, and then it'll be about the show speaking about Andrew Gillum and him running for the governor of Florida. And after that, we have the, regarding the gentleman's funeral, and we'll play a 1-minute tape regarding that, him, and then 1-minute tape regarding his daughter. Thank you very much.
Ah, the coffee break, right here in New York's Union Square. To Americans, this is an unalienable right, part of the pursuit of happiness. But it wasn't until the late 1800s that a group of Norwegian ladies in a Wisconsin factory asked their boss to give them a few minutes to rest and chat. And that was the birth of the coffee break. It was around that time that Labor Day was also born, 130 years ago, on September 5th, 1882, right here in Union Square. The September date was chosen to break up the stretch between July 4th and Thanksgiving, the only other 2 national holidays back then. Those first Labor Day revelers had picnics, parades, and a cause. They wanted an end to child labor, the right to organize, a decent wage, and safer conditions. We take certain things for granted today, the 8-hour workday, the 5-day week, paid holidays, but many of us forget or didn't know that in the late 1800s, work was dirty and dangerous. 12-hour days and 6-day weeks were typical. Workers, including children, were just cogs in the wheel of work. There was no overtime or benefits. For young boys and girls, work meant crawling into broken machines or digging in the smallest crevices in mines. Today, we consider sick days, vacation, and unemployment insurance basic rights. Children are in school, not in factories or fields. But all of these reforms were won only after violent battles between labor and business, usually backed by government troops. A national Labor Day was finally signed into law in 1894, during President Grover Cleveland's second term. It was a political gesture to appeal to workers because Cleveland had just used troops to break a strike. More than a dozen workers died. It took more than 40 years for the 8-hour day, 5-day week, and an end to child labor to become federal law in 1938 under Franklin D. Roosevelt. Times are tough for many American workers, but as we mark Labor Day and an end to summer play, it is worth remembering that this day off wasn't always so happy. So here's to Labor Day. Now back to work.
Okay, well, that was reference to Labor Day. So all you people out there that didn't know about Labor Day, so now you've been brought abreast to the title Labor Day. And we got the gentleman that's running for Andrew Gillum he's running for governor of Florida, and I just was gonna just make reference to him because he's got a real blessed job ahead of him, and he's doing really wonderful at running for governor. And I think that's fantastic, and I think there's going to be a credit to all you wonderful people out there in TV land to get your lives together and make your lives valuable and be like that young man. He's running for governor of Florida, and he'll make a big difference all over the United States. So it's not just running for governor of Florida, but he's just running for governor, and I think he'll make a heck of a leader. And he's not trying to bow down to all that skullduggery like Donald Trump and all of his cronies. So pay attention, and if anybody's running for any office, if you got any stamina in you to do that, do so, because this is the time is now in 2018 to become whatever you desire to become and make it worthwhile, and not only for yourself but to everyone else. So through blessings, I'm just sharing the information to all you people out there in TV land, because I want you all to become strong leaders and get great jobs or perform wonderful jobs, and quit trying to play all these silly games like Donald Trump. He's silly, but that's how he is. So I'm going to make a reference to the gentleman that died, and his daughter was going to speak at his funeral, but we're going to make reference to him right now, if that's all right with you, Sister Ellie. We'll play that, and she made it possible to play that the information regarding.
We gather here to mourn the passing of American greatness. The real thing.
Hey guys, I'm Joshua Harris, and you're watching ABC News Live. I'm here outside the U.S. Open, where I just had a conversation with Puerto Rican tennis star Monica.
We gather here to mourn the passing of American greatness. The real thing, not cheap rhetoric from men who will never come near the sacrifice he gave so willingly, nor the opportunistic appropriation of those who live lives of comfort and privilege while he suffered and served. The America of John McCain is generous and welcoming and bold. She is resourceful and confident and secure. She meets her responsibilities. She speaks quietly because she is strong. America does not boast because she has no need to. The America of John McCain has no need to be made great again because America was always great.
All right. Well, now she just made reference to her dad, which is John McCain, and she did a very good speech, make a reference to America being great, and it is great right now. And our hearts go out to your having passed and having been in went through all the prison trauma and all the horrible things that you went through as a leader. But that was his daughter making reference to her dad's death, and she was a very wonderful, eloquent speaker. So again, that was John McCain and his daughter making reference to her dad's having passed, and our heart goes out to her and her dad. So I just wanted to say, all you people out there in TV land, thank you, Sister Ellie, for putting all those tapes, and Cecil, Hatchett the third, for wanting to have those tapes played for you people out there in TV land. There's a lot of really great information, but I really appreciate Sister Ellie and Cecil and them coming forward and getting that information out there and making it available to me and make it available to all you people out there in TV land. So if there's any information that you'd like to make reference to in the near future, you're welcome to come on the show and make a reference or and speak on it, or come on the air and speak on whatever's on your mind. So it's very important. I plan to be around a great while, and I'm at least praying that my health holds out to be able to put all these wonderful shows out there for you people out there in TV land. But Open Signal offers all you people opportunity to become producers and field producers, so studio producers. So whatever you choose to do, that time is now, not later, to do whatever you plan to do. And a lot of people talk about, well, they're gonna speak or woulda, coulda, shoulda spoke and all that good stuff. I just pray that we as Negro, colored, Black, African Americans, that will get up on our duffs and move forward and do something positive while we still have the breath of life in us, and not pass it on and wish we woulda, coulda, shoulda did something very heroic or something very positive, because the time is now to do whatever you can do. And so I invite a lot of young people on the show to come out and speak on their heart regarding their grades in school, if they're doing good or bad, or if it's getting better or quit being worse or whatever, but still get the voice out there and let other people be encouraged by your efforts to speak up, and then down the road they'll speak up. So continue to keep moving forward and stand positive and stand strong and stand focused. And I just want to make sure that when I communicate these messages, I know there's a lot of time when I would have loved to have been here, but I was ill or in the hospital and getting my health together, and that's what I'm doing now. I'm in dialysis, and I go Mondays, Wednesdays, and Friday, and I get up early enough to be in dialysis, and then I try to do my complete dialysis, or if for whatever reason, whatever happens, I'll have to address that at that moment as time unfolds. But I'm still trying to keep my health and extend my life. So please don't quit on yourself. If you feel there's something incorrect about your health or incorrect about your body, get that addressed or get that handled. Get you a great doctor or get you a semi-good doctor. I don't make no difference as long as he or she knows what she's doing, and hopefully it'll get you back on track and you can get better or hopefully improve. So that's my conversation to all you people out there in TV land. play to win, stay strong, stay focused, and whatever you need to do that. And be honest and sincere to yourself. And love one another, because as time goes on, when you're strong and got a lot of power, a lot of energy, you take it for granted. But then as you get older, then you just be happy to have any power, any energy. And you don't want to take that for granted. You just greatly appreciate that energy exists at this present life. And hopefully it'll help you to get stronger and better and do well in life. So that's what's going on in life. So I was going to speak about Donald Trump, but if I have to burn up a lot of great energy, say something negative, I won't do that. But if he's made a fool out of himself to a lot of people, and all that stuff is true, and reality is set in, and reality is here. So I'm just trying to let you people out know, pay attention, absorb the information, and be a better individual than that individual. So it's all about moving forward. And a lot of you people out there which are with the Povo community for justice, I'm very thankful that you're here, and I'm happy that I'm still alive and here today. And 2018, and today is September 2nd. So I'm just happy to be healthy and strong and focused. And I pray for all you people out there in TV land that you're healthy and strong and focused. And hopefully you'll come and be on the show, or be able to get your message out there, or be able to become a producer or a field producer, because you're welcome to do whatever you can. And I always will be speaking about whoever you people out there, because I don't know who you are specifically, but I'm very happy to being able to communicate to you. Today is the 18th, not the 18th, but today is Sunday, and 2018, and I'm just happy to communicate a message to all you people out there in TV land. I'm very thankful for all the people that helped me to try and help me keep my strength and my health, and I just want to just tell you how much I appreciate you all. So just try and keep it positive, keep it focused, and that's what I do every day of my life, and I'll continue to do so. So if there's anything I can do to help you, whoever you are, my prayers going out to you, and my feelings are going out to you people to go out there and stay healthy and strong. A lot of you people have got health problems or whatever, but God will hopefully touch your heart and help you get better or feel better or do better. And that's what life is all about. So play to win and stay strong. And that's what life is all about. So when I do these shows every Sunday, or just about every Sunday, this information is for you and for whatever's on your heart. And if you want to communicate a message, may you succeed in doing so. And I pray that you're on the air getting your message out there, because that's very, very important. And we're on YouTube, so we're constantly getting information out there. And if you're not here to see it today, tomorrow, or next week, or the week after next, or whenever the time comes, YouTube is available to all you people out there in TV land to get your message out there. And we'll play that tape over and over and over, or bring the tape and we'll play it on the air. So that's what we want to help you do, to let the world know that you exist and that you're healthy. And if you're not healthy, then communicate that as well. But whatever you want to do or need to do that while you still got the gift of life ruminating through your body. And I'm very pleased and thankful to everyone out there in TV land. And I invite a lot of people on the show, and they'll tell me they're coming, or they'll be back, or they'll be here with some very vital, beneficial information in their mind's eye. But naturally, in many cases, they don't show up to communicate the information. So I don't know if they have anything of value or anything of any worthwhile or that's worthwhile, because I'm a listener. I'm here ready to receive you, but if you're not here to be received, so what? Nothing ventured, nothing gained. So that's how that conversation goes. So all you people out there, you felons, misdemeanor people, uh, all you people need to get your family, if they want to come on the air and speak to your cause or try and get your sentence reduced or turned around, then they can do that too, because many of you people are in jail for marijuana. Of course, all that is being swept under the rug now, or being resolved, because people are allowed to do that and not have to be put in prison for it or in jail for it, because you're not trying to trick no white women or minority or women, period, because thinking that you're using drugs as a means of trying to be with people or trying to seduce their minds when marijuana have always been here and been made available to everybody, but they try to point a negative finger at the Negro, colored, black, African American race. And so I just want people to know that people are doing a lot of things with their lives. I use the word opioids because that's what people are doing now, because they're using drugs which are taking their lives, or 60-some thousand people died on President Trump's watch, and more people are dying because of drug overdose. So there's just a lot of horrible things taking place. But we're sick of locking people up, putting people in jail, acting like that's the problem solver, when really that's not the problem solver. The problem is using and misusing your body, because you become addicted to using drugs or using medication, and then using it as a means of destroying your bodies, and now you're going to the grave or to the hospital trying to save your lives. So I'm just praying that you'll do better and that your lives will get better. And so opioids and all that other horrible stuff, it has a positive effect and a negative effect. But if you're using it for the negative effect, it'll soon possibly bring about your demise. So be very careful and try and turn your lives around and live a healthy, strong life, because people are watching you abuse your body and misuse your body, but they're not telling you when you get to the point to where your body's about to shut down or it'll expire. Then what do? If trying to throw a pity party for you or feel sorry for you, I just say you don't reach that death do you part behavior, but your life gets better because your life has turned around for the good. And so when, be it male or female, when they're misusing their bodies, they're putting themselves in a position to be misused or used. And so I'm just saying to those things, to all you wonderful people out there in TV land, is that as human beings, we need to work together and help one another to do what's right and what's better for their lives and for your lives. So I'm saying all that to you because it's so very, very important. As me, as Cecil Hatchett, Black African American, I'm just always for the well-being for all human beings and all Americans, but is to do what's right and just for everyone. And so that's what I'm all about. So it's all about playing to win and moving forward and doing the best you can and move forward in the best way you can. Many people could have been on television, would have been on television, all that woulda, coulda, shoulda stuff, but it's all about putting your best foot forward and doing what's right at the moment, and prayerfully something very positive will come from it. Like I said, it's open signal who we're under PCM, Portland Community Media, and so if you people want to come and become anyone or become famous or do whatever you need to do that on Open Signal, because that's what we got at Portland Community Media right now, and hopefully we'll get that information out there to you people out there, and you'll become a member of Open Signal. So I wanted to just get that information said and communicated. I got a lot more to make reference to, especially as me being with having dialysis, because many times I've gone to dialysis, and sometimes the time will be at 10 minutes after 6 in the morning, and then it's when it's time. By the time I get set up or the people get set up to put me on, it'll be about it takes about 10 minutes to get me set up, or 15 minutes to get me set up, and then I have to wait for the whole clock to go all the way around until 3 hours and 15 minutes, and that'll make it longer, because when I come and get on dialysis, I get set up. It'll take about 10 minutes before, then wait the 10 minutes before I can officially get put on the machine, and then it takes about 15 minutes for the machine to play out, and then my body is already drained or tired, and they have to take me off the machine, because I don't know what they're doing, where they're running my blood or checking it or whatever the case may be, is that it's like it's overreaching, and I can't do it. I think sometime they should need to come on by 6 o'clock or by whatever time it is, but not leave me a 15-minute or 10-minute pause time, and then for that time to go another 15 minutes, and that makes me like here I'm there the 15 minutes, and then the 10 minutes that because by the time it took me 10 minutes after 6 in the morning, then it's taking 15 minutes more, and that time should start at 6 o'clock, or it should start up at 9 o'clock, and then not be waiting until 9:20, 15 to pass, or 9:25 to pass, and it seems like feeling like I'm being put on a machine way longer than psychologically I need to be, and I just need to get off the machine because my body is aching or experiencing all kind of pains, and I'm trying to get off the machine. So I'm just trying to let you people know to look, if you, they used to put me on at 6 in the morning, and I was always ready to go. But if they want me to go at 6:25 and 6:30 and all that stuff, then when it's time for me to get off the machine, it's like they want me to wait from 6:30 to 6:45, and I'll be like, that's too long, because I've already far surpassed the amount of time that I should be on the machine, because I'm always ready to go, because I really don't like being there in the first place. But if it's going to try and extend your life or extend further life to you, I'm wherever I need to be and do whatever I need to do. But if I'm just there waiting to start around about 6:30 or 6:15, I'm saying, my God, it's already 6:15 and 6:30 and then 6:45, and I've already been there a half hour or longer than I would have needed to be, because now it's 9 o'clock, 9:30 and 9:45, And I'm just saying that's just too much time as far as I'm concerned and as far as my health is concerned. So if you're concerned about my well-being and my health, so let's, whatever reason I'm on dialysis, just get me on and get me off. But don't just give me these odd times and then 15 more minutes. And then if I'm hooked up to the dialysis machine, when that time passes, and then when it gets to 9 o'clock, 9:15, 9:30, it's like, while I've been on this machine all this extra time for nothing. And so I was thinking about, I was going to talk to my doctor regarding that, because I'm just trying to get on the machine and get off and not come with all these times in between times. Whatever that's all about, I don't know. But I just like, if it's if you put me on earlier at 6:25 or 6:20, and then comes 9 o'clock, when it's 9 o'clock, or 15 till 9, or whatever time it is, just get me out of the machine so I can get out of the place and get back home and do whatever I need to do to make my body healthier or stronger, because that's what I need to do. But I'm not trying to be caught up in all these times in between times. Everybody looking straight face and treating me like, oh, it'll be all right and it'll be okay, but it won't be all right, because it hasn't been all right or okay, because I'm just trying to get in and get out. That's my only attitude. Once I get there, I'm ready to go back home. And so the quicker you can get me back on the machine, the quicker you can get me off the machine at 9 o'clock or 9:15 or whatever time you get me off the machine, I'm just ready to get off and get back to my family and get back to my situation where I feel safe and strong. So I'm just saying, all you people out there in TV land, if you're put in a position to hopefully get off better or get off earlier, then hopefully you can get that all worked out, because that's what I'm all about. I'm in and out attitude, and that's what I want to do, is just get in and get out. So all the wonderful people that treat me well, I know they're trying to require that I continue to be on the machine. I'm saying, yeah, run my blood, clean my system, whatever you need to do. But don't put me in a situation where I feel like you put me to do way too much, because I'm not trying to do way too much. I'm just trying to get in and get out. And I'm just trying to do what the doctor directed me to do. And that's all I'm trying to do. And I'm not trying to have no pity parties, or after the meeting have a conversation that want to prolong me being there, because I'm only interested in leaving. So stay strong, stay focused. That's what's on my heart, and I'm certain that's what's on your heart. But if you're doing a lot of different things, and the people are requiring a lot of more time from you, will make them address that issue, because your time should be whatever amount of time they need you there, and any time beyond that is going beyond that. So that's where I'm coming from. I don't complain. I don't boo-hoo or nothing like that. I'm just basically just trying to make sure that my information is out there for everyone to know exactly how I feel and the issues that I'm raising, because they're pertinent to my dialysis. And I'm certain that everybody's there is getting dialysis, so it's pertinent to theirs. I don't know what kind of lifestyle you live or lived, but I'm certain that you have good doctors that are trying to help you prolong your lives. So do what's right and try and pay attention and try and concentrate your time. Again, I'm still making reference to a lot of very important issues, and I think that you people should pay attention to your issues. And if you want to come and speak on the air about it or anything, or so do so. Please do so, because you know that anything that's relating to me, I share to people, and I just love people to share anything with other people. Because when I'm speaking, it's not like I'm just speaking to my friend or someone close to me. I'm trying to let people know exactly what's going on in my life, and hopefully it'll hopefully improve their lives. And so that's what it's all about. And we can all benefit each other. So a lot of people will come on the show or don't come on the show, but I pray that they do, and I pray that they move their best foot forward and do what's best and right for everything and everybody. So. So I had a lot of different things on my mind. Like I said, I wasn't going to make a reference to Donald Trump and his shenanigans, because he's got a lot of things that he have to deal with, because people are accusing him of bad behavior, and prayerfully that will get addressed, because he is the President of the United States, and that he has to be held accountable for his needless verbiage. So there's a great many things that I've been saying or will say, and I just want to tell you wonderful people out there. Well, we have you here, Cecil. So I'm here now, and you're here. So have you anything more to add?
A couple of things. We're gonna play a video. My dad was talking about Andrew Gillum earlier, and he was I believe he's the black mayor that's running for governor in Florida. He's the black mayor that's running for governor in Florida. Part of the reason that was such a big deal is because I believe it's Ron DeSantis. I may be saying this wrong incorrectly. He was making comments, and one of the comments, even if he's not directly acknowledging it, one of the comments he made was at least felt racially motivated. So we're going to play a video of that. We're going to play a video of at least that one comment. Video's about a minute long, and we're going to go into that.
The thing we need to do is to monkey this up.
Okay.
Let's build off the success we've had on Governor Scott. The last thing we need to do is to monkey this up.
He's tough, he's smart, and he loves Florida, and he loves our country. And he's going to be your next governor, Ron DeSantis.
So, and a lot of people, I mean, depending on your social background you may not know this, but once again, he's running for an office, so he should be talking to people who do. But monkey has for generations been it's been a very ethnically unpreferred word. We black people in general, most black people don't like being called monkey. Being compared to a monkey is a very disparaging thing. It's a very disparaging word. It's inappropriate to use in any regard when you're referring to black people. Now he was trying to say, it's a common slang. It's a common slang phrase for we don't want any monkey business, or we don't want this monkeyed up. But if he wanted to say he didn't want something screwed up, why not just say screwed up? If you want to say you didn't want it done wrong, why not just say that? Like they've said, the man he's Harvard educated. He's an educated man. If he's got speechwriters, those speechwriters should be, at this day and age, they should be politically aware of the racial implications of the words they use. So I can understand if he used it inappropriately, not knowing that it was inappropriate, that's fine. But once he was confronted with it, he should have he should have retracted. He should have apologized instead of doubling down and saying, oh, no, that's the exact wording I wanted to use. That's exactly where I wanted to go. And that's why that video is so important. Because if you're running for a public office, or if you're doing anything, if you're doing any kind of public, if you're going to be sitting in public at all, you should at least admit to your mistake. Hey, I'm sorry, I didn't know this was inappropriate. I apologize, and then move forward. Instead of just being like, I meant to say it, I'm keeping it. The other thing I really wanted to talk about, and we're going to jump into a video about that in just a moment, is Donald Trump has been speaking, and just overall they've been talking about how unemployment's on the decline. Unemployment in America has come down. Minority unemployment, especially, what are the numbers I looked up? Unemployment in America is down to 3.9%, the lowest it's ever been. And as of right now, especially for minorities, minority unemployment for Hispanics is down to 17%, for African Americans down to 14%, and down for Asians it's down to 11%. And those numbers all sound fantastic. I mean, they all look fantastic until you realize that, once again, these are minorities. I believe what I heard, and I have to find a place. So this is not a direct fact. It's just something that I'd heard, is that almost 50% of unemployment is minority based, whereas minorities don't make up 50% of the country. So while those numbers are still low, that's still a really high for the amount of blacks or Asians or Hispanics. That's still a really huge part of it. That's still a really huge number. It's a huge disparity. It's a huge disparity for there to be 14% unemployment for blacks, where the number of blacks that are actually unemployed is still almost equal to the number of whites or the number of Asians or Hispanics that are unemployed. So even though the numbers are lower, it's just still a higher percentage of those races that are unemployed. We're going to go to a video with Al Sharpton just speaking on the same subject because I found it interesting. So whenever we're ready, we'll run into that.
What do you have to lose? African American unemployment is at its lowest level ever recorded.
That was President Trump Thursday, continuing, as I suggested before the break, to ride the coattails of his predecessor, President Barack Obama, in claiming that his policies are to be thanked for the record low unemployment numbers among black Americans. A fallacy easily dissolved when you look at when the trend started, and as you can see, it wasn't January of last year. Joining me now is former acting Secretary of Labor under President Obama, Seth Harris. Thank you, former Secretary Harris. Let's go right to it. President Trump is trying to tell people that he is responsible for record low African American unemployment. Is that any way, shape, or form even possibly true?
It's not, Rev. We've had 87 consecutive months of job growth in the United States dating back to 2010. You may remember that you and I used to talk about the jobs numbers back when I was the President Obama's Secretary of Labor.
Yeah, you used to come on my radio show every month and report. Then Perez would after you. I remember.
Absolutely right. And so we've had long-term recovery from the Great Recession that President Obama led, but he was helped by Democrats in Congress who passed the largest stimulus bill in American history. And it's important to remember that even though President Trump is talking about how low African-American unemployment is now, and that's true, it's still almost double the unemployment of white Americans. We still have structural problems in our economy that are causing African Americans to still face a disadvantage in the labor market, and we still have a lot of work to do. And let me say, I see no evidence at all that President Trump is doing the hard work that's required to fix that problem.
Now, we saw the decline. First of all, President Obama came in, the whole economy was on very shaky ground. He recovered the economy, brought unemployment down, and brought African-American unemployment way down. And Mr. Trump inherited a economy that was in full recovery for blacks and whites from President Obama. Now he's taking credit for picking up somebody at the end of a trip that somebody else drove the trip. But at the same time, he has no plans and, in fact, has created a climate that would never, ever make black unemployment and black employment equal to whites, because he has said it very candidly that he really has no agenda for blacks. His agenda is, what do you have to lose? I guess civil rights and other rights, criminal justice reform and all, I guess in his mind is nothing to lose. Is everything when you've had to face a double standard.
You're exactly right, Rev. There's no agenda for the African-American community, no economic agenda in particular. If you look at the tax bill, for example, that President Trump is taking credit for, 80% of the benefits of that bill flow to the wealthiest Americans and wealthy corporations. And we're already seeing evidence that those corporations are not going to take that money that Trump is handing to them. He's going to borrow it from the Chinese and hand it to wealthy corporations, that they're going to turn that into the kind of middle wage, middle skill, middle class jobs that we desperately need in this country. What we need more than anything else is for high school graduates and folks with just a little bit of college to be able to get a job that will support their family, allow them to save money for retirement, and allow them some kind of job security. Now, we could get that with investments in the public sector, putting people to work as EMTs, cops, firefighters, teachers, nurses, and we could do it with investments in infrastructure. Now, the president promised us $1 trillion investment in infrastructure. We haven't heard a word about it because...
And we've not only heard a word, we've not seen whether they're going to use minority-owned firms, including African-American firms, whether or not they're going to be targeted in areas where we need infrastructure redevelopment in black communities. Where's the infrastructure? You can have $1 trillion worth of infrastructure and never hit the communities that are most impacted, that have the most environmental concerns. So while he's doing all this boasting, Nixon had a black capitalism plan. Reagan, Bush, Clinton, Bush Jr., they all had a black agenda that they would put out, even if we didn't agree with it, and many times I and others protested it. There is no agenda here. It's all empty rhetoric.
I agree with you completely, Rev. And in our hometown of New York, there was a proposal for a new Hudson River Tunnel, right? That's desperately needed because Amtrak and mass transportation in New York is really struggling because you can't get trains under the Hudson River with the outdated tunnels that they're using. Right. This is just common sense. Donald Trump is not going to provide the money that's necessary for that plan. That's a place where you could put a lot of African Americans, a lot of middle-class workers and low-wage workers to work building those tunnels, but he's not planning to do that.
Well, he knows about it because he used to have his name on some buildings right on the Hudson, and those in those buildings now are having meetings saying, please take his name down. But why put money there, Seth, when you can just take credit for the guy that did everything that you're taking credit for?
No, that's precisely right.
I'm going to have to leave it there. Thank you, Secretary Seth Harris. Good to talk to you.
Thank you, guys, for saying that. So, I don't know. I just thought that was important to, once again, to see the president that we're, once again, the president who we're under, and his overall motivations, his overall lack of concern for not just the African American community, not just the minority community, but just for Americans in general. Because once again, I guess he's shown over and again that if you aren't part of the group that he desires, his willingness to take care of you is minute. You know, if you're an immigrant trying to seek asylum in America, the standards that you have to go through now under President Trump are ridiculous. If you are a citizen in America, you know, whether you're any kind of minority, if you're a citizen in America, the things he does for you trying to leave the country, come back to the country, the things he does are just deplorable actions. Something else I wanted to bring up, which I think it's funny, just considering all the political trouble that Trump is going through right now with Monfort and with all the different cases. On July 27th, 1974, that's when Richard Nixon's impeachment trials began. Then I believe August 8th, 1974 is when Nixon actually, after he had claimed Watergate was nothing, same as what we've heard now with our president. Oh, you guys, it's all a big misunderstanding, it's not a big deal. August 8th, 1974 is when he actually resigned, the first president we've ever had, first president in U.S. history to actually have resigned from his position. And he was also the first president to be impeached. And now it's looking like he might be the first of two. So we might have the reason I just wanted to bring it up is because history is amazing, but history repeats. Things come back. Right now we're looking at a president who has continually lied to American people. Looking at a president who has put forward his own agendas, put forward his own policies, brought forth people. What was his big speech? He was going to drain the swamps of America. He was going to drain the swamps of politics, drain the swamps of Washington. And then now we find out I wish I knew the numbers, but how many of his primary people, the people he was closest to, that he brought in personally, are now either under investigation, have been arrested, or have been tried and convicted of crimes. So it looks like, I don't know if he drained the swamps and then figured he needed new alligators, but that's what it feels like. Any rate, those are just some of the things that I thought, and I know me and my dad have spoken on a few times, and that I thought would be interesting, and thought my dad might like to comment on. Anything you want to say about any of that, Paul?
Well, I'm happy that you made reference to Donald Trump and how horrible he is, and still being, and taking advantage of people that have kindly put themselves out there, and he tries to destroy anyone that's ever tried to do anything positive, and he tries to take that and turn it into mush. So you're making wonderful references, Cecil, and I'm very thankful that you're out here doing so as well.
Speaking on another thing, my father just reminded me of something. A lot of times not just Trump, but Trump brought these people into his life, into his inner circle, and now a lot of their lives, because they hitched their wagon to his nefarious plans, to his deeds, to his actions, and now their lives have been drastically altered. So just for us, for anyone else, just remember that if you're following along with somebody, if you're tagging along, if you're letting somebody else lead you, at some point that action can come back on you. That's what a lot of these people's lives, some of these guys were unscrupulous anyway, but a lot of times we oh, the money is good, and what's he doing? He must have a plan, this is that, or this is going to be okay. And then next thing you know, that person did have a plan, and that plan involved throwing you under the bus. So if whatever your lifestyle is right now, not just Trump related, but anybody, whatever your lifestyle is right now, if you let yourself get into something that you shouldn't be, pay attention. Pay attention to what's going on in our political system, because that could easily be you, and not a national system, but in our local crime community, or in our local political system, and just the company you work for. That's why we have whistleblowers. That's why so many of these things happen. It's because people follow along just too closely and then let themselves get sucked into this quagmire of troubles. I don't know, just another thought that's out there. Just something my dad had talked about, and it just reminded me that, if you've got problems, and my dad's always inviting people onto the show to come in and discuss anything that they want to, but if you have issues and you don't want to discuss it on the show, if you just find some kind of help to help you with whatever social or political problems or family issues you might have going on in your life, because in the end, we all have some kind of stress, some kind of issue going on in our life, and we all need help. Same as my dad talking with you guys about his medical treatments. While it may not be personal for all of us, we all know somebody or have somebody that has some kind of medical issue, have somebody that's having some kind of mental issue, that has some kind of problem in their life, and they may need that one little push, that one little motivation. There's a lot of things that have gone on with my dad's medical treatment that I honestly wish somebody would have told me about. Things that our doctors, we assumed they were giving us the best advice, and they weren't. You know, I honestly didn't know. We waited a very long time for my dad to start dialysis. We didn't look into doing a transplant for my dad right away because his doctor said we didn't need to. His doctor said, oh yeah, his kidney function is down. You're down under 20%, you're fine. Once you get down to around 12%, that's when we'll start looking at it. And we took that as a standard, not realizing that once he got down to 12%, he was gonna start having strokes. He was gonna possibly lose an eye. So when he was at 20%, none of those things were an issue. But we took the doctor at their word and followed the doctor's advice, and the status of his health decreased. Now he's down to the numbers that they said, but he was much healthier if we'd have went ahead and went for that transplant when he was back at 20%. So it's some of the things he may speak on may not mean something to everyone, but there are people out there who it may be important to, people out there who this may directly affect. So if you have any questions, if you ever want to talk, if you ever want to find out anything, give us a call, send an email, you know, jump on the line, because we'll answer questions about what's going on in my father's personal life or anything that we can find, any information that we can find that may be helpful for you. We'd be happy to look it up for you. But once again, I apologize, I keep saying my father missed a few shows because he's had to go to the hospital. He had to be out for a while. And these were things that didn't happen, that weren't happening until his kidney level got down to the point where the doctor was like, okay, now we'll start looking for a transplant. But years ago, 2-3 years ago, he could have gotten a transplant. He could have gotten all this done, or we could have gotten on the list for a transplant. But once again, we listened to the doctors. We took the advice of the professionals without following up and getting a second opinion. So, and that's why my father was bringing up some of his dialysis issues, some of the other things, because you do want to get a second opinion. You do want to find out what's going on, because your doctor isn't always going to be telling you the best advice. Your kidney doctor is at work. His job is to keep working on your kidneys. If he gets you a new kidney, he doesn't get to work on your kidneys anymore, and he's not getting that, I don't know, $300-400 an hour that he's supposed to make. So it's not in his best interest to tell you, yeah, let's put you on the list today. It's not in his best interest. That doesn't pay for his BMW. So just remember, you know, when it's your health on the line, find out, do extra research, speak to other people. When it's just, you know, I apologize, I got lost in a thought. Whatever's going on with you, whatever your personal situation may be, whatever your family situation may be, there's always resources out there that you should try to get information from. That's a lot of what my dad's show is about. It's about trying to help the audience and other people from at least his experiences or from the people he's spoken to. I don't know. Sorry.
Oh, you did wonderful. Everything sounds fantastic. Thank you very much, Cecil.
No problem, Dad.
And continue to share any information that comes to heart, because when I'm sharing anything regarding me, I'm just telling you people from my heart what goes on with me or what has taken place with me or other people that have shared information with me. And I put my best foot forward to try and help move them forward. So to this day, I always move people forward by trying to help them help themselves. Go ahead, Cecil, please.
Okay. Yeah, so once again, my dad loves to invite people to the show. People don't always come, and that's fine. That's not an issue. We do appreciate all of you who are at home watching. We do appreciate Sister Ellie, Brother Ron, Steve, Tom, everyone who comes in and contributes time to help make the show possible. Like I said, we know we've missed a few weeks. Well, we've probably missed a few months, but that's because of my dad's health issues. And so we do appreciate all of you who've stuck with us, the people who've called to find out why my dad hasn't been on the show. We appreciate all of you taking the time out of your lives to at least be a part of what my father's trying to put together here. And we just want to once again remind you, whether or not you are a Trump supporter, whether or not, if you aren't a Trump supporter, that's beside the point. Just pay attention to what's going on. Pay attention to how it affects your life, how it affects the lives of the people going on around you. You know, if you do or don't believe that what's happening politically in our world today is corrupt or fake, that's, you know, that is your opinion, and you're totally allowed to it. You're allowed to have it because this is the United States.
Okay. Well, once again, God Almighty loves you and look forward to seeing you in the future.